After I finally found my long-lost younger brother, something was off. He had a completely different personality. When I slapped him for talking back, he did not cling to me the way he used to. He actually lifted his hand like he meant to hit me in return. I was furious. I smacked him 2 more times. I snapped. Who do you think you are to glare at me like that? While I was still scolding him, glowing lines of text appeared in the air in front of me, floating like some live commentary feed. LOL, the runaway heir finally escapes his billionaire brother, tries to go be a street legend, almost joins a gang, and then boom, the heroine snatches the wrong kid. One slap, and his gangster dreams crumble. Someone please get the heroine an eye exam. This face, mix-up is crazy. Meanwhile, the real poor brother is probably freezing somewhere. Me? Question mark. What? The wrong brother? I leaned in, squinting at the boy. He held his cheek and glared at me like I had murdered his cat. Okay, fine. Maybe I did drag home the wrong child. My real brother would never look at me like that. If I hit him by accident, he would grab my hand and sigh, "Sis, your hand smells like vanilla, do it again." I was not ready. Great. Fantastic. Why? Because my face blindness is severe enough to ruin lives. That means my adorable actual brother was still out there waiting for me. The thought made my temper flare again. If you are not my brother, why did you follow me home? I could have found him already. He lifted his chin like he meant to yell back. Then something flickered in his eyes, and he clamped his mouth shut. New text scrolled through the air. Sis, please. You dragged him the whole way. He kept shouting that he had never seen you before. You just kept walking. He is quiet right now because he thinks another slap is coming. Oh. So he really had been protesting. And I had written it off as attitude. No time for guilt. I needed to find my actual brother and return this one to wherever he came from. Before I could plan anything, my phone rang. I answered briskly. Hello. A deep male voice replied. Hello. My heart jumped. Hot voice alert. I instantly switched to my professional sweet voice. Hi there, may I know who is calling? He paused. I think I may have taken your brother by mistake. A boy named you says he is your sibling. My own younger brother ran off recently. I also have some face recognition issues. I think we mixed them up by accident. If you send your address, I will bring him back. New commentary floated by. 2 people with face blindness swap brothers. This story writes itself. The billionaire grabs the heroine's real brother. The heroine grabs the billionaire's troublemaker. The heroine's brother is eating luxury dinner right now, while the young master gets smacked like a drum. Panic shot straight through me. Wait. This kid belonged to a billionaire's family. If he went home and complained about my slapping him, they could flatten my entire apartment block. They might send hired muscle after me. I picture myself surrounded by men in dark suits holding metal bars, while the kid stood behind them, hands on hips, yelling, "Brother, hit her again. She deserves it." Terrifying. No way. I had to fix this before news traveled. I cleared my throat and softened my expression. I reached out to pat his head. Listen, big sis did not mean to upset you. He shrieked like I was swinging a butcher knife at him. Do not touch me. Just wait till I go home. You are done for. Wonderful. So much for kindness. I dropped the smile immediately. I grabbed a fistful of his hair and lowered my voice. All right. New plan. If you even whisper what happened today, I will wait outside your mansion every single day. Every time you step outside, I will make sure you regret it. His face turned chalk white. He trembled like a leaf. More text appeared. She is threatening a child. Send help. But honestly, this kid is a menace. He throws around his brother's status and bullies half the school. His brother is always too busy to discipline him. The kid cries about being an orphan and gets away with everything. He ran away because he wanted to be in a gang. His brother nearly lost his mind searching for him. So really, he kind of earned those slaps. I was reading the commentary, entertained despite myself, when the doorbell rang. I opened the door. Someone threw himself into my arms, crying. Sis. Even though faces blur for me, I knew him instantly. My real brother. Finally. I hugged him tightly. It is all right. You're safe now. Hello. Sorry to interrupt. I looked up. A tall man stood in the doorway. Calm. Cold. Ridiculously attractive. Even the dim hallway light could not hide how sharp his features were. This had to be Lucas Fu, the billionaire. He was so good looking that my shabby apartment seemed to shrink in shame. I swallowed hard. Hi. Behind me, a loud gasp echoed. Brother. The kid I had slapped was curled in the corner. He wanted to run to his brother, but froze every time his eyes drifted toward me. This was bad. Lucas's gaze fell on the bright red mark across his brother's cheek. His brows tightened. What happened? His voice was quiet and icy. He looked straight at me. Did you do that? My stomach dropped. This was it.
The end.
I tried to stay calm. I walked over to the boy, forced a gentle smile, and reached out to ruffle his hair to show that I was harmless. But the moment my hand moved, he yelped and folded into himself. Please do not hit me. I will listen, I promise. Silence. That made everything look 10 times worse. I froze mid-motion. Should I throw myself on the floor to apologize? Kneel dramatically? Roll across the ground? Footsteps approached. Lucas. He was going to destroy me. Instead, he caught my hand. His hand was warm. I stared up at him. For a moment, I thought I saw him look pleased. Pleased? Before I could sort out that bizarre expression, Lucas said calmly, would you consider working for me as my brother's full-time caretaker? I will cover your housing, and the salary is flexible. Behind me, the kid turned pale as paper. The floating commentary exploded. The older brother is thrilled. He finally found someone who can handle the brat. He cannot bring himself to discipline the kid, so he is outsourcing it to the one woman who has no fear. The young master's nightmare begins. I tighten my grip on Lucas's hand. Yes, I will take the job. The timing could not have been better. I had just gotten fired and my landlord had increased the rent. In other words, I was one step away from sleeping under a bridge. I could handle that. My brother Yu could not. He was a top student who stayed up tutoring himself until 2 in the morning. I refused to let him struggle. So, after arriving at the billionaire's mansion, I marched straight to Lucas's study to negotiate. I requested that he transfer my brother to a better school. Lucas agreed right away. He promised to enroll Yu in the same exclusive academy as his own brother, Leo, same class too. The irony nearly made me laugh. My brother, attending a school designed for children of royalty and tycoons. Lucas did not waste a second. He called his secretary on the spot to handle the paperwork. I bowed. Boss, you are incredibly kind. Thank you. I will go guide your brother. Really shape him into a decent human. Leave it to me. Feeling satisfied, I backed out and shut the study door. Then I turned around and froze. Yu stood in the hallway, eyes red, fists clenched, whole body shaking. Sis. His voice wobbled. Why did you come out of his room looking like that? Did he hurt you? Sis, let us go. We can go back to our tiny rental. You do not have to do anything awful for my sake. I will earn money. I will give it all to you. Do not let him bully you. Me? Question mark. Touching, but what? I looked down.
Oh.
In my rush earlier, I had barely dried my hair after showering. I had thrown on an old, thin t-shirt without checking it. It was practically transparent. Fantastic. No wonder Lucas refused to look me in the eyes. I thought he was being a cold rich guy. Apparently, it was self-control. I dragged my weeping brother away and explained everything in detail. After a while, he finally calmed down. Really? He asked. Really? I am not stupid. I know how to protect myself. I did not add that if anyone was getting taken advantage of, it would probably be Lucas, given his looks and his bank account. No reason to ruin my perfect goddess image. To you, I deserve someone like Chris Evans. We were never actual siblings. We grew up in the same orphanage. I had a bad temper, so bullies avoided me. Yu was small but clever and terrified of getting beaten up or having his food taken, so he followed behind me everywhere like a shadow. I pretended not to notice him. If he got too hungry and tried chewing tree bark, I shared my food. When I turned 18, I had to leave. He grabbed my leg and cried, begging me to take him with me. It crushed my heart, but I could not even support myself. I had no choice. For years later, after I finally secured a steady job, I returned for him. I feared he might have been adopted, or mistreated, or bitter about me leaving. But he was still there. Taller, still skinny. When he saw me, he tossed his book aside and sprinted into my arms. He would not let go. He became the best brother anyone could dream of. He cleaned, cooked, washed clothes. He never complained. If I got frustrated, he coaxed me gently, rubbing his head against my knee like an affectionate puppy. Sis, do not be mad. He only had 2 problems. He got lost easily. And whenever he could not find me, He panicked. He would sit under a streetlight and cry silently, convinced I had abandoned him again. The transfer went through the next day. I dropped off both Yu and Leo at their new school. Yu smiled brightly as he waved to me. The moment he turned around, the smile disappeared like it had never existed. He walked with a blank expression, calm and unreadable. Leo poked him. Hey, do you only smile for your sister? You act like her pet. If she asked you to lick her shoe, would you? Yu stopped and looked at him slowly. Leo tensed. What now? Yu's eyes lit up. If she asked me to really? She would let me. Leo stared. You need help. Since the answer was not what he wanted, Yu's expression turned emotionless again.
He walked on.
Annoyed at being ignored, Leo hurried after him. Look, your sister is broke. She probably eats cheap instant noodles every day. Stick with me, and I will get you real food. You work for me, I protect you. I am the king here. Yu kept walking. Leo could not stand being disregarded. He was the prince of the school. Everyone worshipped him. He grabbed Yu's arm. Your sister only came to my place to seduce my brother for money. I saw her last night, coming out of his room dressed like a cheap hooker. Poor people have no pride. If you kneel and bark like a dog, maybe I will give you something to eat. Maybe I will let you. Hey, did you just hit me? Half an hour after I dropped the boys off, my phone buzzed. It was the principal's office. I sighed. That did not take long. When I arrived, 2 boys stood inside. One hung his head, the other had his hands tucked into his pockets, like a delinquent prince. The moment I spoke, they reacted. Yu lifted his head, eyes bright.
Sis.
Leo shrank in place, sneaking glances at me. What happened? I repeated.
Yu's voice was calm.
He insulted you. He spread lies. Leo stuck his chin out. I spoke the truth. Why is that wrong? You came to my house to seduce my brother. His bravery lasted 2 seconds. Then he flinched as Yu grabbed his collar, ready to swing again. The teacher rushed between them. Stop. I called you here to solve this like civilized people. I let out a cold laugh. Then I grabbed Leo's collar and smacked him twice. Sharp and crisp. Is your brain connected to your stomach? Is that why garbage keeps coming out of your mouth? Do you understand the word respect? If not, I can reset you. And if you have a problem, go complain to your mother, not me. That last line broke him. He burst into tears. Comments on the school feed lit up. Finally, someone shut him up. Perfect. Young master looking pathetic is cinema. She is the first person he cannot intimidate. Wait, I think he is crying because she said mom. His mom died when he was a baby. A pang of guilt hit me.
Right.
Sensitive topic. But that did not excuse rumors.
So I smacked him again.
Enough crying. Leo sniffed hard and tried to hold it together. Last night I met with your brother about transferring Yu. My clothes were a mistake and I apologize for the confusion. But I had no intention of seducing anyone. Next time, get the facts before you speak. Understand? Leo nodded quickly.
Good. Class time.
No more fighting. Both boys obeyed and left. The teacher stared at me. That was surprisingly effective. At dinner that night, Leo spotted me and immediately tried to escape back upstairs. Lucas called him, but the kid pretended he did not hear. I kept ladling soup. Leo, sit down and eat. If I have to come upstairs to get you, you will regret it. His footsteps froze. A moment later, he slid into a seat at the farthest corner possible. He poked at his plate, only eating meat. Not a single vegetable. Lucas sighed helplessly. I ignored Leo and focused on Yu. Eat more meat. You need protein. Yu shook his head. Sis, I do not like it. You eat it. He pushed the food back into my bowl. I slapped him. No picky eating. Instantly, Yu's eyes sparkled and he began eating the meat happily. Leo stared, horrified. His chopsticks trembled. Comments filled the feed. Did you purposely provoke her? He is enjoying this. Does he want another one? I smiled at Leo, placed broccoli and carrots in his bowl, and said sweetly, your turn.
Eat.
He began munching vegetables at top speed, terrified. When he finished, he served himself more. Lucas stared at me like I had unlocked ancient magic. That actually works? More comments scrolled in. Poor Leo. He has no idea he walked into her domain. Yu enjoys getting disciplined. This is his peak happiness. Eventually, Leo figured out what was going on. He watched you do homework while humming, a fresh red mark on his cheek. You are twisted, Leo muttered. Does that even hurt? You shook his head. Do you not think being hit by my sister is the greatest joy in life? Leo stared in horror.
No.
You need therapy. I am terrified she might hit me again, and you are practically begging for it. And my brother stood right there, gave her a thumbs up, and increased her salary. She is winning. I am angry. I am going to keep causing trouble until both of you get fired. Leo never got the chance to cause trouble. The next morning, he would not wake up for school. I pulled off the blanket and felt heat radiating off him. Go away. I do not care, he muttered, pulling the blanket back over his head. When he peeked out again, I was gone. She actually left, he whispered. His eyes stung. Heartless woman. I am telling my brother to cut your pay. Is it not your job to take care of me? Maybe. I am just unlovable. He curled into a miserable ball. It had always been like this. Whenever he got sick, he was alone. His parents were gone, and his brother was always busy. He learned to take medicine and sweat out fevers by himself. He shut his eyes. A sharp smack landed on his cheek. Wake up. Take your medicine. I could not find your first aid kit. Had to ask the butler. You rich people do not have a family doctor? I assumed every billionaire had one. And I could not find the kitchen, so I mixed the medicine in a wine glass. It is just cold medicine. Drink it, warm your heart, whatever. It looks fancy in the glass. Go on. Leo blinked at me, stunned. You did not leave? Leave? You are sick. I held the glass to his lips. Slow sips. He drank, staring at me with flushed eyes. He looked gentle for once. You are much cuter when you are quiet, I teased. I ruffled his hair. Warmth spread through him. No one ever touched him like that. People either feared him or disliked him. Even his brother was not affectionate. Can you do that again? He whispered. What? He turned away, shy. Forget it. I laughed and rubbed his head again. Do not give me dandruff. He glared. Get out. I am sleeping.
Fine.
Sleep. I dragged a chair over and sat beside his bed. Leo closed his eyes. Alone again, he thought. 10 seconds later, he kicked the blanket off in frustration. Just go. I do not need you. He opened his eyes and jumped when he saw me staring at him.
Ha.
Caught you. I grinned. I did not leave. Did you think I would? Relax.
Sleep.
I will sit here and play on my phone. My little brother was clingy when he was sick too. Nothing to be ashamed of. Leo's eyes burned with emotion. He was not a prince, or a terror, or a spoiled brat. He was just a kid. Suddenly, he wrapped his arms around my waist for a moment, then dove back under the blanket. I poked the lump. Did you just hug me? Are you clingy too? So shy. Under the covers, Leo grumbled. But he was smiling. People loved to gossip that Lucas Fu was a womanizer, but after staying in his house for a while, I realized the rumors were nonsense. The man lived at his office. Between running multiple companies and managing his brother's disasters, he barely had time to sleep, let alone romance anyone. Since Leo's fever episode, he had calmed down a little. The principal called me less often. When I updated Lucas, his whole face lit up. Miss you, you're incredible. I'm giving you another raise. He stood to make the call and nearly collapsed. I grabbed him before he hit the ground. Boss, seriously, don't die. Who is going to pay me if you drop? His forehead was scorching hot. Fantastic, another sick billionaire. Lucas tried to command his phone. Hey Siri. I shoved him back into his chair and handed him a wine glass full of 999 cold remedy. He took a sip, then sighed with bliss. Tastes like mom. I stared at him in silence. A moment later, he knocked out cold. The butler and I dragged him upstairs and shoved him under 5 heavy duvets so he could sweat the fever out. I wanted to give him an injection to speed things up, but the butler whispered that he had a deep, tragic phobia of needles. A terrifying billionaire who faints at the sight of a syringe. Wonderful. By morning, Lucas woke up pinned beneath a mountain of blankets, shouting in outrage. The butler calmly explained it was my idea. Lucas paused. He actually felt great. Clear-headed, energetic, almost reborn. He kicked the blankets away. Bring me another glass of that medicine. 999 cold remedy, the butler said. That one. The one that tastes like mom. The butler blinked in despair. Since both boys behaved well for once, I baked a blueberry cheesecake and brought it to school during their break. The security guard blocked me. Leo puffed himself up. Do you know who my brother is? The guard shrugged. And my mother is the queen. We ate cake through the gate bars like prisoners. Yu was delighted. He got a slice and his favorite cheap yogurt drink. I handed a slice to Leo too, but he only stared at my bag with wounded longing. I pretended not to notice, then pulled out another bottle.
Here.
This one is yours. Leo's eyes shone. He tucked it into his pocket like treasure. Yu pouted. Sis, that's usually my drink. Leo smirked. She's my sister too. Before they could argue, I cut in. Eat the cake before the frosting melts. Leo suddenly said, by the way, it's my birthday today. I stared at him. Your brother didn't plan anything? He stayed quiet. Of course Lucas forgot. He was drowning in work. Hold on. I sprinted to a convenience store, came back breathless, lit a candle on his cake slice, and held it out. Make a wish. The flame flickered in Leo's eyes. He closed them and took a breath. Later, walking back toward class, he muttered, so that's why you're always glued to your sister. Makes sense now. He clenched his fist. I'm taking her. I'm the new #1 brother. Yu's soul left his body. When we got home, he barricaded himself in his room and refused dinner. Ask Leo what happened. He declared, Sis, you can't have other brothers. I should be first. I pinched the bridge of my nose.
No.
I don't like troublemakers. You fight, you slack off, you stir drama everywhere. I don't want brothers like that. Leo panicked. I'll stop. I'll behave. I'll study. I took Yu downstairs by the hand. We'll see. Time moved on. Both Yu and Leo got accepted into Tsinghua University. Lucas was so ecstatic, he nearly passed out from celebrating. He squeezed the news into every meeting. Oh, my brother? Yes, Tsinghua. Amazing, right? The CEOs suffered in silence. I got another raise. Cash was flowing beautifully. The three of them were glued to me now. When I walked through the door each evening, Yu called out, Sis, where are you? You haven't slapped me today. Leo rushed over. Sis, I behaved. Can I be your brother now? Lucas poked his head out of his office. Miss Yu, I'd like a glass of 999 cold remedy, the wine glass version. I stared at them all.
Sure.